oh, it's a masterpiece, it made me come.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Anime Club After Dark, the podcast that delves into all things anime, manga, and otaku culture related. I'm your host, Alex, but you can call me Senpai, and joining me tonight, we have our czar of source material, John.
Gonna cry about it.
And our poser extraordinaire, Natai. Listen, you may be down about what we're about to talk about.
No. Let me stop you right there. Exactly. There's a really good show on Netflix right now. It's called JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Storm Ocean. Why can't we talk about that? Let's just last minute change. Let's talk about that for like 30 minutes. Why not? Let's do that. Wouldn't that be nicer?
Okay,
be more
to
pleasant?
everyone out there who is listening, Natai and I do plan on doing Spoilercast for JoJo's Part 6.
But unfortunately, it's not tonight.
But unfortunately, that night is not tonight. No. So, we've gotten together at the insistence of John, and I completely agree with him, that we need to talk about Netflix's live-action adaptation of Cowboy Bebop, because it's literally all anyone is talking about, right?
No one.
No, I think...
No one's really talking about it, but...
No.
Here's the thing. So, I remember when people were like, Netflix is gonna do a live-action adaptation. I was like... whatever, no way, you know. And then they started dropping teasers. They did the Tank OP, and I was like, oh well, at least they kept Tank. And then I saw a fucking teaser for it, and I went, oh no. Oh no. And then I completely blanked it out of my mind that it even came out until I saw I believe I saw Wooly from Super Best Friends play.
Yeah
I saw Wooly's reaction to the Ed reveal.
That clip is so good.
Yeah, where Pat's is like laughing his ass off. And so I was just like, all right. I was like, oh my god, that's right. It's on Netflix. So I had to watch it. And I was after I watched it, I was like, I need to talk about this. And I'm like, man, we should really do an episode about it. So that's the entire inspiration was that I saw someone's reaction to it, and I was like, oh god, that's right, it exists. Because again, I completely forgot about Bebop up until this point. It's
also worth noting that these last few months leading up to its release on Netflix, we've had a lot of people in our Discord server talking about it too. I know a lot of people just poo-pooing it outright without even seeing it. Great job.
Oh look, Alex seen something get poo-pooed, and he's immediately like, I need to give that a shot, and it's probably gonna be good just because everyone else is pooing it. Oh, classic Alex in action.
You.
Fuck you too. Fuck you. I don't even want to be here.
I don't know if you guys can tell, but one of us is not very excited to talk about this.
Yeah, one of us.
I didn't even want to be here. I'm a hostage.
So this adaptation was actually announced all the way back in June of 2017, and it's just now coming out. It was originally scheduled to come out during 2020. I don't know if any of y'all heard, but some things happened in 2020 that's put some things back. Crazy, I know.
Don't say anything that'll get us demonetized now.
I know, an unknown virus from an unspecified location.
You should have said the word. You said the V word. We're fucked. Anyway.
What, Winnie the Flu?
Hate it.
Demonetized. Someone is coming to your house right now to kill you. But yeah, let's talk about it. So, so before we actually do get into it, so this is actually a spoiler cast, so we will be spoiling potentially anything and everything that did happen. However, I did want to structure this a little differently than we do our regular spoiler cast, since this is primarily a review and what our personal opinions were of the material itself. So instead of going through it like chronologically or episode by episode like we usually do for spoiler cast, I've really just divided this spoiler cast up into 3 parts: the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I think we should start with the good.
Yeah, I'm done with that.
Tank is still a really good song, guys.
Yep. Yeah, Tank is still the best.
Kept Tank.
It's a shame they fucked up the visuals, but that's not bad. The song is still good.
I completely disagree. I think the visuals look absolutely fine.
Oh yeah, just bits from the show.
That's so. They could look in live action.
That's great. Just I don't even mind the goofy running around with the text. That's great. I like that. But let's just cut bits from the show into the intro because sure, easy. Yeah, the song is great. I like the song.
I thought it was kind of weird that basically the entire show, every single like interesting character that pops up is in the intro. So I'm like, all right, which like, you know, I'm playing so I never skip Tank, right? Because
yeah, you don't.
No one
you
ever
don't
skips Tank. No one ever skips Tank.
And,
even if you hated this live action adaptation, if you skip Tank, you're literally Satan.
No one about all that, boss, but yeah, I remember my girlfriend was watching it with me, and she was just like, the way that they run is fucking hilarious looking. And
yeah,
like,
it's great.
It looked better as an anime when they did it. So
it's like
it's
you don't need
like
to
trying to pay homage to the anime.
It's
wow.
It's almost like when you directly translate stuff in French to live action, it's gonna look a bit goofy, huh? No, but I don't mind the goofy lines. It's funny.
And but I was kind of annoyed that like every single boss character story point, basically every episode had a reveal, right, for like who's the big bad, and they have every single scene of that is in the intro. So kind of very similar to like how most anime OPs go, actually, now that I think about it.
Kind of like spoiling the whole anime.
Which is kind of stupid,
Yeah.
like, because like that's the kind of beauty
Like,
of Tank, how
it's a
simplistic
live
it
action.
is.
Why would you do that?
I
don't understand. It's Tank.
So do you think it would have been better instead is like each like story arc or, you know, episode, whatever the big bad or whatever the like principal secondary character was going to be for that show, maybe only they showed up in the intro and had the visual.
Don't ask me what I
different
think
each
would be
time?
better.
I mean, to be honest, since it was a live action, it didn't really matter. Like, just because they show like this character shows up, look at the reveal. It's like, wow, that's cool.
It's
Doesn't
like,
really
oh
matter.
guys,
You
it's
don't
the
really-
thing you remember. Oh guys, don't you like that? That's the thing you remember from the show. Oh.
Yeah, that it was kind of like pandering, right? And I was kind
Exactly.
of just like turned off to that.
Yeah.
But
See, I look at it from a different angle. Yeah, it's fan service, but that's the kind of fan service I want.
Mm-hmm.
That's what people like. That's a common like criticism of how Tank is used in the OP of this live action series. Like, it's fan service. Yeah, it is, because you know what fan service is supposed to be? Servicing the fans.
I think it's just kind of like
It's supposed to be giving fans things they like.
I love that we have such a like. I'm surprised you like it as much as you do, Alex. Like,
Alex is a contrarian.
So-
I'm calling it right now.
I'm gonna it's not. It's genuinely not because I want to like I went in this with a very blank slate. Like, I didn't expect it to be just like the anime, and I think that's why so many people dislike it, is because they went in expecting it to be exactly like the anime.
Okay,
No,
but Alex, hear me
it was
out. Hear
never
me
going
out.
to be that.
Alex, hear me out. How about, like, I'm interested in what you think about about this adaptation, not what other people think while watching the show. Like, I went into this show like very optimistic. Like, it's just gonna be fine. It's gonna be like, I'm gonna have a pleasant time, even if I don't agree with the choices they made, right? And even still, I was like, nah. You know what I'm saying? Just, I mean, but we'll get to that later.
I just don't agree. I had a great time watching this.
That's your opinion is your opinion. I'm not trying to change your opinion, of course, but like, yeah, let's keep going with like the good stuff, supposedly.
I mean, on the same level of-
supposedly. Wow,
Supposedly.
that fucking
Yeah.
backhanded compliment, bro.
I know, right? I mean, since we talked about Tank and that's part of the music, I mean, Yoko Kanno was brought in to do the compose the music for this, and Yoko Kanno is still Yoko Kanno. I mean, it's pretty good.
Yeah,
For music, I
because
feel
most
like-
of it is still stuff from the original show, but sure.
I think that they paid a shitload of money to just get the rights to Yoko Kanno's music and brought on Yoko Kanno. I feel like that's where all the money for Netflix's adaptation went, to be honest.
Why is that a bad thing, though? Like, why is it so bad that they want?
It's
to
not
bring
a
the
bad
same
thing,
musical
but it's like, it's not a
styling?
bad thing. I didn't say it's bad, but it's like, it's just like, even the music they edit like back in the WTF we did earlier last week, was it? Like, I talked a bit about it. Like, holy shit, that's not any, like, I don't have anything against Yoko Kanno, but whoever the fuck is editing the music in these scenes, like, I don't know what they were on right there. Like, what the fuck were they smoking?
Okay, but that's two different things. You're talking about how the music itself was edited. I'm talking
The
about
music is great because
itself.
it's the same soundtrack with like a few new tracks, which were like, yeah, like I dig it, but it's like, Most of it was
and those new tracks, I think even from what you probably heard, the new tracks do sound like they could have been in the original anime.
Sure, but it didn't stand out much because they overused the original tracks from the show in the weirdest moments.
This is exactly what I mean, though. Like, you're the kind of person who you won't, no matter how.
What the fuck are you talking about? I'm not talking about the original show. I'm talking about the stuff from the original show. That's a fact. I'm not saying. I don't want. It's not me criticizing this show for not being like.
I have a shit-eating grin.
I know you do. I can hear it in your voice right now.
Let me finish this point. I'm not complaining that it's not like the original show. I'm saying the fact that they use a lot of stuff from the original show. Am I wrong?
And why is that a bad
I'm not
thing?
saying it's bad, but you say the fact that you say the fact, oh, like Yoko Kanno, yeah, it's good. I'm happy. My problem is how they edited the original music. It's just kind of weird to me.
We can talk about that as a separate thing. The way the music is composed and the way it's edited are two different things.
I agree with you, but you're saying I'm like all people like, oh, it's not like the original show. I'm not saying that.
It's very funny that
this is just like watching an Attack on Titan Spoilercast.
I really wanted someone to talk to you about this, so I forced Alex to watch the show reluctantly. And then I asked the Ty to be on it, even though he didn't finish watching all of it, because I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be spicy.
Spicy meatball.
This is I'm having a rollicking good time, man. Because
my pain is your entertainment.
Oh, it is. I'm just like, you guys can't see it, but I'm eating this shit up. Like, I love that Natai hates it so much.
I don't hate it so much.
I don't disagree
so
with your points either. Like, when I compare, so the live action adaptation is a piss poor adaptation of the anime, in my opinion. Like, it's 2 out of 10, mainly because of the story things that they changed, which I'll talk about in a bit. But I just want to talk about the good things. So I went into this after seeing that teaser because I posted it on our Discord.
Yeah, I remember.
I was like, oh God, this, like, I hate it. I hate everything about this. And I went into this thinking, oh, it's going to be bad. You know, like, I hate how they portray Jet Black as, like, just everything's so silly. All right. They're all kind of dumbed down character-wise. And I hate it. But I gotta admit, I fucking love the chemistry between John Cho and Mustafa Shakir.
Yes, it was so good.
I agree. Their chemistry is
watching
really
them
fun.
on screen. Yeah, watching them on screen and their chemistry, I did not mind it one bit. And I don't know, like I really wanted to hate it, but given the context of that teaser, I didn't like it. But after watching, I think that happens in the 2nd or 3rd episode, right? That teaser that dropped.
No, it's not even in the show.
A lot of the scenes from that teaser take place in the 2nd and 3rd episode.
Wait, the lost sessions you mean, or the actual trailer like they dropped? Because they released this lost session thing.
The teaser one where they're talking. Finally, we're gonna eat real food, and you're like, you call this or fancy food, and you're like, you call this fancy? Man, I love bidets.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the conversation about bidets actually made me laugh.
Yeah, I like their interaction.
Out of context, like just not knowing how the characters were built already, I hated that scene. But with context, I was kind of like, okay, well, they're kind of going for a goofy vibe, so
yeah, they're taking it in different
scene
direction.
Was not as cringe as like, yeah. And,
for all the talk about how the people that made this didn't understand the source material, one thing I can say that they 100% understood was the way these characters interacted with each other. Was it 100% like the anime? No, but the camaraderie between them, I think they captured really well.
I like the interactions between Jet
say
and Spike in this show. It's like you're really entertaining. It's really fun. They obviously bounce well off each other. Like you can feel the chemistry between them.
Yeah, for sure.
But I would say that Daniela Pineda.
No.
The person who plays Faye. Dear God.
No.
Who gave you that direction, girl?
Who
told you to play
know.
Faye like this?
I feel bad for her. Like for all, like who I don't know who the guy who wrote this script, but goddamn, they got the short end of the straw when they had to like fucking deal with that script. It's not good. It's not good.
Yeah, like I understand that Faye isn't supposed to be the brightest person in the world, but She's so
just say it. She's cringe.
Dumb.
She's cringe. I don't use that word, but Faye gave me hard cringe alerts.
Like
I couldn't.
That teaser again. That bidet teaser that they did. How Faye acts. If you've seen that, you know how Faye is gonna be in the entire show, the anime, in the show. Yeah, she's like that the entire time, and I'm just like,
all of them feel stupid.
Good on you guys for not
reason.
just making her a hot piece of ass. Like, I was very surprised that they didn't do that. That they didn't over sexualize Faye, and then they made her lesbian. Bye.
Wait, she's lesbian?
Bye.
I think it's kind of up in the air right now.
I don't know. Yeah,
it's never directly addressed.
For the record,
she sleeps with the mechanic in one of the episodes, and there's like, "Oh, you've never had an orgasm, huh? I was your first," and I'm just like,
"Excuse me?
Why is this a point? Like, why are we focusing on this?
Oh, because
no
John
one cares about
because
this.
Because John, every episode needs to be 50 fucking minutes, so we need filler. God, oh, I don't get it.
Yeah, like they had a lot of time to play with here, and they adapted not quite a lot, and they changed a lot of the story. But we gotta talk about the good still, right? So Tank is still Tank, Yoko Kanno is still Yoko Kanno. The core cast of chemistry.
I'm gonna say it. Like, I actually liked Faye in this adaptation.
Oh,
I know I'm probably very alone in that, but
I feel like that is a very unpopular opinion to have.
I'm happy for you, Alex. I don't understand.
Okay, well,
because I think a lot of people look at Cowboy Bebop with the rose-tinted glasses.
No!
Shit.
Oh my god!
Oh shit!
You don't need
to
revisiting the original show.
It's not a 10 out of 10 anymore. Oh shit!
No, I say that. I say that thinking that the Cowboy Bebop anime is still a 10 out of 10. I still classify it as one of the like 5 or 6 anime masterpieces.
Alex, I'm not even bringing up her original.
I think that people think that Cowboy Bebop is one of the greatest works of fiction ever written. It is one of the greatest anime ever made, but the greatest work of fiction ever made by human hands? No, it's
okay,
not.
Alex, hear me out. Fuck what people think. Listen to me real quick. I'm not even bringing up the original Faye. This Faye right here, this character, it's not great. Her script, listen, when I watched that first episode, I was like, okay, sure, like I'm trying to go with it, and then this chick shows up, and I just couldn't. Like, oh, look, she's so badass because she swears all the time, and oh, look, she's so badass because no reason, and let me just say fuck and shit and dicks again. Oh, I'm so fucking badass.
Yeah.
It's just cringe.
Nutbags.
That
fucking episode. I hate, yeah. It was so...
She's tacked on. She's tacked on in that first episode, and it shows.
Like I said, they really dumbed down all the characters in general.
They feel stupid.
Her chemistry with the crew is still it's similar, right? It does feel, I feel like in the same vein as the original. However, on a personal note, like, I understand that Faye didn't have very much character development, and I'm curious as to why the actress wanted to go this direction of like, oh, I'm just gonna turn her into some potty mouth. Some cringe potty mouth. Like, I don't know, but
you say that it's the actress's
or
fault.
The script.
I mean, it could equally be the director
or the script. We don't know.
That's why I said I don't know who gave her this direction. I really don't know who gave her this direction, but
it's not good.
Moving along with more good stuff, I think the retro futuristic set design that they used in the live action is very reminiscent of how the anime portrays like the whole retro future setting they have. Like, there's a lot of the stuff is very analog. There's moving buttons. It's not all touch screens, and I think it actually looks good in live action.
Yeah, I didn't mind the set stuff, the set designing and everything like for the actual Bebop, and. I also really liked some design choices. Like, there's an episode where we basically go into Jet's background, right? When he was a cop, and they do in like an LA noir.
It's so neo-noir, and I love it. I love the way it looks.
I loved it. And that's at that point where it's solidified, like, okay, I like Jet as a character now. Like, I like his backs. I know, Natai. Stop rolling your fucking eyes.
I didn't roll my eyes. I was about to give a compliment, but sure.
No, because I thought you were gonna. Because I was gonna say I like the fact that they gave him that backstory of like he's an actual dad, and here's his buddy cop backstory. I liked that entire episode actually.
I loved it. I love the way that whole episode was done. Is like this whole neo noir flashback thing. Oh god, it looks so good. It was like very 60s, honestly.
They did the same in the anime, just saying.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Actually,
I didn't have a problem with this
That's a credit
episode.
to the live action.
Yeah, I
didn't
have a problem with it.
The fucking source
I didn't
material.
have a problem with it. I didn't have a problem with it. What?
You're so angry today. Calm down.
Because Alex just assumes that because for some reason, okay, there's a lot of like actual idiots are like, oh, it's not like the anime, it's a problem. I don't have a problem with that. That's totally cool. Like I'm trying to find the good in this show and like trying to see what it's bringing to the table. And yeah, I agree. I like the set designs. I like how it's all analog. There's some things that I didn't like about like the sets or whatever, but it's like it's very much. It doesn't matter because it's just bullshit that my brain just won't like make it go away. It doesn't matter. And yes, I enjoyed this episode, but I was kind of disappointed by it because it's like I wanted to go all the way. I don't want it to like just cut corners, which it feels sometimes in this production. It feels like they weren't given the time and budget I wanted this show to have to just go all out. But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Never mind.
Well, like I feel like, listen, the thing that the unnamed virus
Alex,
from an unknown location happened,
Alex is
right?
trying to make me turn into like a butthurt fan, and I'm not. I genuinely not. I'm trying to make this clear. I want this to be good on its own. That's not the issue.
No, your disappointment was immeasurable, and your day is ruined.
Day is ruined.
Like, I get it. Like, I went into this thinking that it was gonna be bad, and it turns out I didn't. I hate to say it, but I didn't hate the show.
I thought it was going to be fine.
I enjoyed it.
I thought it was just going to be mediocre and was even
And that's
less.
where you fucked up, man. See, I thought it was going to be a lot worse than what we got, and honestly, I fucking enjoyed it.
Is it bad that I went in thinking it was just going to be mediocre or fine and even being disappointed in that? Is it bad on my part? What have I done wrong?
Yes,
yeah, man.
Because what you should have gone in with is absolutely no expectations whatsoever.
What do you mean by
That's
that?
what I
Whenever
did.
you watch anything, you're gonna have some sort of expectations. What are you talking about?
No,
you don't. No, you don't.
No.
John
No,
literally
you
just
don't.
said he went in with expecting it's gonna be bad. What are you talking about?
Well, if you go in expecting it to be bad and it's bad, you're not disappointed.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
What
I mean,
are you talking-
don't
Okay,
ever expect anything to be a good adaptation.
I'll go watch
right?
the new fucking hentai thinking it's gonna be just bad. Oh, it's a masterpiece. It made me come. Yeah, Alex, that's a song.
I mean, I don't see the problem with this logic, but
I'm sharing the same logic that John said, just for a different degree. And Alex is like, "Oh no, you shouldn't come with any expectations." What are you talking about?
I very
I'm just
rarely
saying.
go into things with high or low expectations. I go in thinking about things as neutrally as possible.
Good for you.
Good example, right? JoJo's Part 6 just came out. We talked about it at the very beginning of this.
Pretty
Did
fucking
I go
great.
into it with any expectations? No, I didn't. Even having read the manga that it's based off of, having known the track record of David Productions, I went in with zero expectations.
Okay, so me being with my monkey brain, I'm like, oh shit, JoJo is out, a new season of a show I like. Let's watch this. Oh my god, it's fucking amazing. Am I wrong for expecting it to be good and then it actually being even better?
yes.
Yeah.
Really? John, don't fucking light the fire, John. You just said that you went in.
I'm just stoking the fire,
I know,
dude.
and
This is so funny to
my
me.
God, I hate this.
That's genuinely how I go into most stuff that I like consume, media wise. Like I don't go in expecting.
I try
anything
and
in
be
particular.
unbiased as possible, and I was just walking in thinking I'm gonna have just a pleasant time. That's it. I wasn't asking for anything. And then I was bored, which is even worse.
Anyway, moving on to one of the last.
Let's talk about no. So let's talk about the bad then, because I need Natai's opinion on a bunch of these things.
But before we do that, I just want to quickly say that I actually really think that the Bebop is one of the most unique looking starships in sci-fi, and the live action did it justice. So,
I mean, we got to see the interior of the ship more often than the outside, but
we got
like
to
I said,
see
the set
it
looks
land
good.
in water, and that's something you don't see a lot with starships and sci-fi. And one of my things going into this that I was concerned about is like, is it going to even look good in live action? Which, granted, it's still animation because it's a CGI effect, but still, it looked good. It looked actually very, very good.
Sighs of resignation.
No, I don't have any problem with it. Oh my god.
right.
Anyway, the bad. I agree with almost none of this, but let's go.
Okay. Defend Vicious the wife beater. Please defend that.
It's a great villain.
Fuck you. You're trolling. You're trolling.
No, I'm not. I actually really liked how Vicious was portrayed in this.
You're trolling.
No,
I don't believe you.
Let me rephrase that. I don't like wife beaters.
I don't believe you. I actually believe you're trolling me right now.
I don't. I actually think this is a good
bad for the guy.
Vicious.
What's his name? Hold on. It's Alex Hassel.
Hassel?
I feel bad for him because holy shit, the moment this poor dude had to say, what was the fucking line? Fucking blank on. Never say I'm not man enough, dude. I was like, I'm sorry, dude. That's not. I feel bad. Also, that wig, for the life of it, will never look good. I'm sorry. It just.
What will never look good? Wait, what?
That wig.
Vicious's wig.
Oh, the wig. Well, okay, fair enough. I'll give you that.
Also, it's like, and again, I only watched the first 5 episodes. I haven't finished it. Maybe it's better later on. But every time that guy pulls a sword, the editing just makes it look even worse. And I feel even bad for him. Even more bad for him. It's just not good.
I just like how he's played as like this very classic evil for the sake of being evil Bond villain.
But he's stupid. He's not even like a menacing villain. He's just bad at his job. Spike literally is about to kill him the first time they meet after who knows how many years. He's not menacing.
My take on this is that Vicious in the original, he's kind of just crazy, right?
Yeah, he's just there.
Wants to take over
he's
the
not
syndicate,
important.
The Red Dragon Syndicate.
Yeah.
Like, he's kind of just your run-of-the-mill, ha ha, I'm evil.
Yeah.
Fucking evil.
Yeah.
So to try to portray that on the live action was, I'd say, pretty difficult. They've made a lot of liberal changes with the story, Vicious being one of them. They made it so his father is one of the elders and they changed it from the Red Dragon Syndicate to be just called the Syndicate.
Oh yeah, the whole
which I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a nomenclature thing, like whatever, right?
Whatever, like I care less.
It doesn't matter. That's
like
the thing.
The fact that they made Vicious have a link to that, and they do circle around to that plot point of like why Vicious says that, and I didn't hate it. I hated Vicious at first just because I was like, oh god, it's like
it's bad.
It's just gonna be like this the entire time. It's cringe, right? But how they circle around to it in the later episode, like I think it was episode 9, where they do the backstory of Spike and Vicious, right?
That entire episode is almost entirely a flashback. Yeah.
Yeah. So. To me, it justified it, and that's what this is what fucking that live action adaptation did, where there'd be moments where I'm like, ugh, roll my eyes, I hated that, and then it comes back with like not too bad of story writing.
But
like,
why the fuck would you blow your load so early? Like the moment I watched episode 1 and it ended with Vicious and Julia, I'm like, really? And then it turns into the B plot for the next 5 episodes. I'm like, why? You don't have to do this. You can keep it in the background. Like, Vicious is not an interesting character.
They come around to it, and because they made liberal changes to a bunch of the story,
that's great,
right?
But it's
they
bad.
had to somehow fill that in to try to give it the same spirit, is what I'm saying. And I agree with Alex here, where it's like, honestly speaking, this adaptation does have the spirit of Bebop in it. Like, it is reminiscent of the original.
Also, this is gonna be highly unpopular opinion. Julia in the live action better than Julia in the anime.
Fuck you! This show hates Julia.
Okay,
and Julia's not even a character in the original. I'm not even trying to say that, but dude, this show hates Julia.
So here's the thing, right? So Julia as a character in the original, she's a fucking side plot.
Yeah,
right?
she doesn't matter.
It's not even a side plot. She's set dressing.
She doesn't matter in the original.
Yeah,
she may as well be a piece of furniture on the set in the original.
In one episode, she has way more dimensions than in the 5 episodes I watched of her. Just saying.
I like how they actually, in the live action, I like how they gave her agency. Like, they actually made her a character and gave her fucking agency.
Uh-huh.
See, and that's the weird thing. I hated the fact that at the end, Spike has the opportunity to kill Vicious, and Julia is like, she saves Spike basically from being killed by Vicious, and then she like tells Spike to finish the job and he can take over the syndicate. And she's had a complete character change, right? Like a complete 180. This entire time she's seen as like this frightened girl who's like, oh, someone save me, I need protection. Oh, but then eventually like her character develops to the point where she's actually a lot more conniving than you'd think, because like, why did she actually end up going with Vicious instead of going with Spike? And she says she wanted to go to Spike, but Vicious caught her, and she's like, Vicious is gonna kill us both, please let me go to Spike. And then she does, right? And then she saves Spike, which is like, oh yeah, we're gonna have the reunion. But then she like completely goes 180 and like, no, we can take over the syndicate now, Spike. And then he's like, no, I want to get away from this walk of life. Like, I thought that was the point. And she's like, why would I walk away from this power? And I'm like, what happened here? What the fuck? Julia's not a bad guy. What is this? So that was unexpected, and I don't know if I like it or not, because this sets it up. I don't like the fact that they set it up for a season 2, and it's just kind of like, all right, so we've done our homage to the original. Now they're going to make their own thing, which I don't think inherently is a bad thing.
Why not
right?
do it from the start? Though?
See, because people would have bitched about like, oh, it's not like the original. That's why.
No, I disagree. I'd rather it be just its own thing. I would have respected it more if it was just its own thing.
I don't think you would have.
I think I do. For a fact, I know I would. Fuck you, Alex.
I don't think you would have. I don't think either way, unless they made it for a 1-for-1 action like live action remake of the anime. I don't think you would have liked it.
That's not true. That's not true. That's
really because
no, that's not true.
It's certainly coming off that way.
That's not true. I literally even said like the only time I compare it to is when when John brought up something from the original anime. I am not trying to compare it to that much. But here's the thing: while doing some research, I was like, let's try and like understand the intent, right? Just try and understand the intent while they were making this production, because I think that's totally fair with any piece of media, like figuring the intent of the creator behind it and then trying to view it from that perspective. So every interview that I read is them trying to say, we want to be as faithful, we want to do the show justice, we want to be as faithful as possible, but we want to take it in a different direction. I'm like, okay, sure, kind of counterintuitive. Okay,
they did that though.
I mean,
yeah, no, it's not counterintuitive. Those things aren't mutually exclusive.
No, I don't think it.
No. So I didn't know that going into this, right? That they wanted to be faithful to the adaptation, but do it in their own way. I completely agree that they did keep faithful to the story, because the thing was, no matter how goofy it was, no matter how cringe some of the writing is, at every single point, like. When they do phase reveal, right, where she has she sees the video of her as a child, like that did happen in the anime, where she's like, she's a clone, and she has amnesia, she doesn't remember much, and she's kind of to the whims of the world, and then she joins the Bebop and learns what family really is, and that's great. They completely portray that just fine. Yeah, but when they did the Faye reveal with like the soft music and like the crew coming together, I was just like, I wanted to hate Faye, and I don't fucking hate Faye. Like, I really wanted to hate her, but I was like, God damn it, that was a good character arc. Fuck.
Speaking of that whole thing with the video, right? There was one part of that made me laugh out loud. Besides how ridiculous it was with the whole con artist mom thing, right?
That was I love that con artist mom arc. Though. It was so stupid.
I love it too. But like when she goes to find the identikit and she opens a thing and it's literally just a VHS tape, like a really old VHS tape, and she picks it up and she stares at it and says, "What the fuck are you?" And I'm like, mood.
Yeah, like mom?
Yeah. So they deviate again a lot, original, but they do have a lot of. So in the original, the mom did exist, right? The person who scammed her was something.
It was a guy who just scammed her. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a guy that she had a romantic fling with or something who tried to con her.
Yeah, but they took the lady that helped pretend to be someone that she knew. They took her and made her Faye's mom in the adaptation. So they changed the story quite a lot.
And mom in quotation marks here.
Yeah, mom.
Not biological mom.
Okay.
No, she was just. It was a scam thing, and again,
I like the reveal at the end though, where it's all just a kink thing, where it's
the Iron Mink. They're doing this because they're just RPing some like weird fantasy shit that they have, and it's like I hated it, but at the same time I was like, that was fucking hilarious. I hate that I like this.
So fucking hard when I was watching it.
I know, because it's so like That's so Bebop.
that actually brings me back to something that I was actually going to talk about in the good part, but like people tend to forget how campy the original Cowboy Bebop was, and they're saying like this adaptation is way too like goofy and campy. Like, did you watch the original? It wasn't exactly like gritty and serious all the time.
I mean, it had its serious moments, but B, when you like have something in animation and you have something in live action when they're both goofy, like you have in every piece of media, you have like this cringe curve, right? Like what you're willing to like play along with like it's like at the beginning it's kind of like weird because it's just kind of weird to watch it, like any like dub actor for like a kid that sounds a bit squeaky and weird, but it's like whatever, but you go along with it for like you're trying to enjoy the show, and it's very difficult to pull that off in animation and live action for different reasons. I don't mind the goof in the live action. I think it's like I think it like at least when Faye's not around, it sort of balances itself pretty well. Like I really enjoy, again, Jed and Spike are really enjoyable in this show, like in their whole interaction. But then every now and then you like encounter this character like Faye or Vicious, and it just kind of
So keeping on that same line, I'm genuinely curious what John thought about this, but Natalia, feel free to jump in as well. I know one thing that this show has also been kind of criticized for, kind of along the lines of how campy and ridiculous it can be, is the gun fu.
I think
I liked it.
I liked it a lot.
Listen, I love gun fu, right? Like, what's that fucking movie that it's like they don't feel emotion, they have to take a pill to suppress emotions. There's a lot of gun kata in it, and I fucking love it. I love gun kata, all right? I know how stupid gun kata is.
No, gun kata is fucking awesome.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, real life purposes, that's not how it works.
No, it's just really fun.
You can't just gun fu in real life. That's not how it fucking works.
I can't kung fu.
It's super, yeah, like, his kung fu is weak. Listen, I love... We need to do a bad dubbing kung fu episode or something, because I need to talk about how, like, I love stupid kung fu movies from the 80s and
Enter the 90s, Dragon, like, the goat.
Yeah, like fucking what is it? It's called the Wu-Tang style. Like,
hell, you know,
dude, enter the Wu-Tang. Like, come on, enter the dojo. Like, Wu-Tang fucking. I'm not gonna get into it on this podcast, but listen, it has a very soft spot in my heart. And I want to make an episode about this, even though it's technically more Chinese than Japanese. But it's just a fun. Maybe we'll do it. I'll do it on a WTF episode where let me talk about old kung fu movies and how much I love them.
Maybe.
But
so, and then there was one episode. It was one of the later episodes, episode 8, I believe, where Spike is trying to fight the clown guy.
Oh, Pierrot?
Yes.
Mad Dog Pierrot?
Yes, and that fight is the most anime-looking thing I've ever seen in a live-action adaptation.
Yeah, I really like the Pierrot fight. Like, oh, God. And it wasn't just the fact that there was not too much time for Pierrot to, like, build character, and they do a lot of his storytelling through flashbacks. What's up?
No, like, what do you mean they don't have enough time for him to build as a character?
Well, because they show him for like an hour.
Yeah, they show him for literally one episode and then he's gone.
But what do you mean? 15 minutes is what? I'm not gonna say.
Well, because
I haven't watched
they didn't establish him as a character. Yeah. So they didn't establish him as a character beforehand, right? He's just supposed to be some
spooky ghost
bounty hunter guy.
Yeah, he's supposed to be some like failed experiment bounty hunter kind of thing.
Failed super soldier. That is now a bounty hunter.
Oh my god!
Like, all they do is establish his link to Ein, the super wonder dog. And let me tell you, Ein is so cute.
That's another good thing we skipped over. Ein is a good boy.
Because he's a puppy. Boy. I love him.
Yeah, I know. You couldn't possibly fuck up.
You can't fuck up a dog. He's great.
I'm just listen. I'm not saying that some dogs are bad. I'm just saying that corgis are the best dogs.
I would highly.
Cowboy Bebop legitimately made me want to adopt a corgi.
Adopt Ein into its own spinoff.
Yeah, like I would watch that. The Adventures of Ein.
The Adventures of Ein.
Yeah, I like Pierrot. I liked his character and like how he adapts the whole like clown facade.
Yeah.
Or, mime clown. Yeah, it was like clown facade.
Mime clown.
He wanted to be his name is Pierrot, for fuck's sake. Like,
yeah. I do like he will just randomly start speaking French too.
Well, he was a French super soldier.
Which episode
my point was
Episode 8. Sad Clown A Go-Go.
That was close.
Like, okay, and we didn't talk about this on the good either, because I thought it was I think it's part of the good. I liked the end cards, right? Where they're like, see you, Space Cowboy, you're going to carry that weight. I was just like, God damn it. Fucking, I hate that I liked that. I hated that I saw it, and I was like, God damn it.
I'm not going to carry that weight.
Because, like, I think it was episode 9 where the end card says, you're going to carry that weight. I was like, I get it.
Bitches.
Oh, I get it. It's connected to the show.
I also like how
Faye
line drops that too in the show.
Yeah, like they pick and choose all the good parts of Bebop and put it in the live adaptation, and I can't hate it. Like, again, I went into this thinking I was gonna hate the show, and I don't hate the show, and I hate that I don't hate the show. I hate that I actually was having fun watching the stupid fucking show. Because I'm like, you know what was a lot better? The anime. The anime is a lot better. You know what I still like, though? The live-action adaptation. It wasn't actually that bad. Like, fuck. I hate this. I hate that I have this thought. Because, again, based off of my very minimal exposure to it and my doubts of any adaptation, live-action adaptations being ever fucking good, because... Listen, live adaptations are never fucking good. That's just a thing, right? I can't think of one anime live adaptation that I like, where I know the source material going in, that I like the adaptation for. Not to say that adaptations are bad. See, and as far as live adaptations, like as a one-to-one adaptation, live action Bebop, pretty bad. It changes too much of the story, and... obviously, you know, because of time constraints, and they're trying to span this to 2 seasons. It's very obvious with how they ended season 1. This is going to be a 2-season show. Hopefully,
at least, maybe even 3 or 4. You never know.
Why?
I hope they don't, because that's just milking at that point. But like, there's still a lot of unexplored options, and they introduced Ed at the very end, and God, Ed is cringe. But
that was something else I was gonna say. Like, I predicted this before the show ever premiered, because everyone was saying like, Ed never appears in the trailers. Ed didn't appear in the preview of the OP that they said. And I said when that first came down, I was like, what they're gonna do is they're gonna save Ed for the very, very end, and it's gonna be used to play into like a cliffhanger for a second season lead in. And God, am I fucking good at predicting that.
Yeah, like, so I had Natai go watch the Ed reveal, because I just wanted to. I'm every time he sighs, a piece of his soul leaves his body, and it's feeding.
It's like,
him, right?
why not take some like this cartoon and just not change anything about it? Oh, that's a great idea, I guess, right?
No, it's not.
I mean, I don't think they changed Ed very much. Like, Ed is very cringe.
Because like, why does her hair look in the show like the way it looks big in the anime? Because it's messy. It doesn't mean it's literally just in this like pointy direction. The way it's like, so dumb.
Yeah, see,
it's so
that's something we didn't actually talk about.
stupid.
The costumes. So just on a side tangent, they did Spike Spiegel really well. John Cho as an actor. First of all, when I heard John Cho was going to be acting, for those people who don't know, John Cho is most famous for being in Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. He's the Asian guy in Harold and Kumar. He's Harold. So, you know, his most famous role is a stoner film. So I wasn't too sure how I would feel with John Cho as Spike Spiegel. Good. I was like, Honestly speaking, not bad.
He's also the new Sulu in the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movies.
Oh, I haven't seen any of those.
I hate the writing he gets,
not
but
very good. You don't have to.
Like his portrayal of Spike is really fun.
Yeah, John Cho is a phenomenal Spike Spiegel. Like, I thought his acting was pretty
and
great.
Jet again, like
his chemistry with the set people.
Jet is almost spot on. Like, again, I really like the way he portrays that character.
Yeah.
So let me talk about the costume design. John Cho as Spike Spiegel with his iconic blue suit, perfect. I liked it. Looks great, you know, and. Listen, I remember watching episode 1 and being like, hey, this is the actual plot from like one of the episodes. I'm not sure if it was the very first episode.
It's the very first episode, yeah.
Is it? Yeah. It is, right?
Yeah.
With the
Red
casino,
Eye episode?
yeah.
No, the casino is a reference to Knocking on Heaven's Door. He's like talking about Katrina and Asimov.
That's right.
I'll get to that casino, don't worry. I'll get to that. Anyway, keep going.
Yeah, so they did the costumes really well. For I think Spike looked pretty good. Like, really good, actually. And they even did his hair. It wasn't like super cartoony. Like I thought they were gonna do like a wig. We're making it super stupid cartoony.
It's not a wig. It's actually John Cho's hair.
Yeah,
he grew it out really long for them to style it that way.
Yeah, and it looked fine.
Yeah.
Like I thought they were gonna. What they did to Ed's hair is what I thought they were gonna do to Spike's hair.
Yeah.
So I was glad that they didn't do that, and they stuck with his natural hair, but they still got the essence of it, right?
I thought Jet's costume looked good too.
Jet looked great.
Yeah.
I loved it. They did the design right. They had all the mechanic parts right. That was great. They
Yeah,
changed
his
face design
artificial
quite
arm
a lot.
looked fantastic.
Yeah, but they changed face design quite a lot. But I wasn't against it, to be honest. Like, listen, Faye.
She's just a different character. She's not like this femme fatale with the golden heart she used in the original. They took her in a different direction. At least that's the impression I got. So
yeah,
I mean that's fine. I still think like outfit wise, I still recognize it as Faye.
Yeah, like I didn't think it looked bad. Definitely wasn't the iconic like eye popping yellow booty shorts and like
with the red
barely
sweater.
a top.
No, but here's the thing: they were never gonna find an actress out there that has the exact same proportions as Faye Valentine from the anime because that kind of person doesn't exist.
Yeah, she's a cartoon.
Many a nuts were busted to the original Faye Valentine. Is all.
Can
I'm
you
saying.
blame them though?
And
still are.
like, damn, I loved Faye's original design, but very, very 90s, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very
anime.
misogynistic.
Very
anime.
Yeah.
And I didn't hate what they did with Faye's new design. As for Julia, she's never in the show, so they can do whatever they want with Julia, and I didn't really care about her costume design.
It just looks
like,
bad. You know, like
Vicious's costume design
looks terrible.
Yeah,
like someone
his wig looks pretty bad.
Like I don't know what they need to do. Either it's a different wig or just better lighting, but it looks bad in every scene. It's not great.
But listen, I'm perfect.
It's a dog. How can you fuck up a dog?
Perfect. I know, right? But yeah, I just had to talk about that real fast because, God, I don't know. So if they did all that right, and they did pretty well in the costume stuff, why would they make Ed's hair like that?
Why would they make?
I don't understand. It looks so bad.
Why would they make Ed look the same as the show? Adapted. You did the same for all of them. Why make it exactly the same? Because what? You had like a minute for her,
like
for them.
I don't understand this whole
It's stupid.
like. All right, we were taking in. They took it so far in their own direction, and I was fine with that. I was like, they've changed the story so much.
Make up your mind.
But the essence is still here. But then they completely like, oh, we're gonna do a 1-for-1 Ed remake. I'm like, why?
It looks bad.
Why would you do that?
No matter what they did with Ed, they were damned if they did.
That's not true. That's not true.
I mean,
I think if they would have made Ed,
I don't disagree.
If they would have made Ed,
I don't disagree with.
And
Alex
I'll tell you
here.
why. No, I'll tell you why. And get ready to bust a fucking vein in your forehead, Natai. This is what I meant when I said earlier about people viewing Cowboy Bebop with rose-tinted glasses. Admittedly, I have not watched the entirety of Cowboy Bebop, the original, from beginning to end, in probably a decade. But going into this, I did watch some old clips of the anime from back in the day, and I specifically watched clips with Ed in it. I'm going to say that it is one of the few parts of the Cowboy Bebop anime that has not aged well is Ed.
And I think
Ed is 100% a product of 90s anime.
I disagree. Every weirdo character in anime is like that in the essence of, oh, she's weird. She's kind of a wacko. I completely disagree with you. And I'll tell you what, like after watching, I watched the first 3 episodes back to back when it came out, and by the time I finished watching episode 3, my mind was kind of like, my opinion was kind of like solidified. Yeah. I was like, okay, that's how I feel about it. And then, out of just curiosity, I was like, they have the original on Netflix. I guess I'll watch the first episode. Why not? And it still holds up. It's still a pretty good show. It's still and it's just
Ed isn't in the first episode.
I'm not talking about Ed. Oh my god! And then, fucking today, I watched some clips with Ed, and it has way more personality than this entire fucking show. But the point I'm trying to make is so I wrote down in this doc, I wrote the phrase "all play no work," because this is the kind of vibe I get from this show. So as we talked about the casino scene, so episode 1 starts with this scene that happens in the casino, and it's pretty much the beginning of the Cowboy Bebop movie. It's like a hostage situation, they're trying to threaten these people, and Spikes walks in with his headphones on and whatnot. Now, in the original like movie, I'm comparing it because it's literally like a direct reference to it, and I'm like, it says a lot about this entire adaptation. So in the original movie, right, Spike walks in with his headphones on. It's a convenience store, and he's just going on about his business, supposedly, just like buying stuff and picking stuff up with his headphones on. And the guy with the gun is like yelling at him, "What the fuck are you doing? What is that?" And he's just playing dumb because he's trying to get the jump on that guy and take him out without hurting the civilian. It's like done very. It's done very effectively, very succinctly, just showing him the type of like character he is. Right? He's like willing to do like a very different type of like strategic move in order to get a jump on you. So what do they do in this adaptation? Oh, like they have this hostage situation, and then they literally notice that like the elevator is going down. Everyone's silently just looking at the elevator, and he walks out with his headphones on, and he's just playing dumb. Nothing really beyond it. He's just playing. He's just being dumb because what then does he do? He just like he doesn't get the jump on them. He just like goes on to attack them. So it's like, oh, it did the thing. He said, "I'm just a humble bounty hunter." Oh, it did the thing, but you missed the entire point of the scene and what you want to portray in that scene. And the entire first episode is like that. And it's just weird to me. Like, okay, so you made the episodes 15 minutes longer. Cool. Why there's so much filler? Okay, you're trying to like add on like these different storylines. Cool. Why are they so pointless then? Because they're just filler. And it's frustrating to me because I want to enjoy. I want to watch the show that Axe watched. I genuinely do, but it's not there. And that's why I see it as like all play no work because you did the thing, you referenced the thing, but you kind of completely missed the point in doing it. That's why I would have respected it way more if they would have just went with something really different. Like, okay, they want to do like several seasons. Why not do like go all the way with it? Go give me more unique stories like that are like just standalone and episodic and like that's great, that's fun. Why do I need the fucking Julianne Vicious side plot? Oh, to add more time because for some reason it has to be 50 minutes an episode, and I don't understand that.
I actually really like the casino scene in the adaptation.
I do too.
Because it set the expectation of like, listen, we're going to do throwbacks to the original, but we're going to be goofy about it, and we're kind of making it our own. And I didn't hate it for that. Like,
and it's going to have really campy, ridiculous.
I'm just here.
The original is campy. It's not the original is campy and goofy and funny and weird. That's fine. Why? But you just. It's just
Listen, no. The fact that he's like, I'm just here to place a bet, and then he fucking starts, and then, damn it, Spike, we had a plan. I hate that I'm eating this up. I really do.
I do like how that scene, especially when Jet comes down out of the ceiling, I like how that immediately establishes their relationship. Like, God damn it, Spike.
It's kind of like very similar to how they interact in the show anyway, so.
That wasn't my problem, that scene, for sure.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying why I liked it. Like, I actually could look past the fact that they're trying to... Because I get why it's... Normally, I would hate this, right? Where they're like, I understand what you're saying, Natalia. I also feel the same way about a lot of adaptations. Where it's like, pick a fucking lane. Are you or aren't you?
But the thing is, it's not even like a good show on its own. Like, that's the thing. Like, I was trying to actually give it a shot. And, like, the action... Again... Take it with a grain of salt. I managed to finish only the first 5 episodes before this recording, but the action was kind of weak. Some of the shots in the show just look kind of bad. It's really disappointing that some of the action is just the shootouts in a room and nothing more creative than that. And then you have some time like hand-to-hand combat. It's kind of disappointing from the first 5 episodes.
Yeah. So to wrap it up, because it's about an hour long and our time's sticking out. So I definitely understand what you're saying. For me personally, I hate this stuff. I hate adaptations because it's not a 1-for-1 remake, and it's like the source material was way better. And I say that a lot.
You do say that an awful lot.
But it's kind of like how Netflix did a Witcher adaptation, right? With Henry Cavill as Geralt. I loved the Witcher adaptation on Netflix.
It's fun.
I did too.
Because it's fun. It gets the essence of the show, of the source right. And that's what I think Bebop did. I personally think it got the essence of the show perfectly fine. Like, as much as I hate to say it, to me, as far as adaptation goes, like 1-for-1 remake, because they changed too much of the story, I think it'd be like maybe a 2 out of 10 adaptation wise. But I knew going in that this wasn't gonna be a 1-for-1 remake, and overall, like, I enjoyed this. This is like a 7 out of 10. It wasn't bad to me.
It was just gonna be mediocre.
It wasn't bad. I'd say it's above mediocre, because if it was mediocre, it'd be a 5 out of 10 for me. But to me, it had its good moments, and the fact that I normally hate when they do callbacks to, like, hey, this is from the show. I hate that pandering, right? But in this essence, they incorporated it to the essence of Bebop, you know, where they do, like, you're gonna carry that weight, and when they do see you, Space Cowboy, and then, like, you know, like, all these the end title cards, the fucking fact that they kept Tank, the fact that they kept basically some of the same storylines but made it its own type of story, it all melds pretty fucking well, and I don't hate it as a standalone show. And at the very end, they play Greenbird, and I was like, that was all I was waiting for this entire time, right? Where Spike, I was like, when is Spike gonna fall out of the fucking window and Greenbird's gonna start playing? Like, I need to hear this shit. And they finally, they do the showdown at the church. I'm like, they better fucking do it. This is gonna be a 0 out of 10 adaptation show if they don't fucking do Greenbird with Spike falling out of the goddamn church chapel. Like, but they did it, and I was like, good. That was the one thing I wanted you to make sure you fucking did, and I liked it. Now, they didn't play Blue at the end of the credits because the show's not over. So, and I my only hope is that if they do get greenlit for a season 2, that they do
I think they have.
That they end it like how the show is going to end. Like, I really hope that they end the show like how it ends in the anime. Because I swear to God, if they give me some bullshit, happy-feely, like, they're all back together and they're going to be bounty hunters, fuck that. No, I don't want that type of ending. Because they've shown in this adaptation that they want the spirit of Bebop, and they've done it pretty well, in my opinion, where they've adapted the character, not influence, holy shit, the chemistry between the characters. They've adapted it from the original, right? With how Jet Black and Faye interact with Spike, and how Spike acts throughout this entire thing. How he can't let go of Julia, right? Like, that was a main plot point. And, you know, they didn't talk about the artificial eye thing. I hope they bring that back, by the way, in season 2. Like, maybe he now has an artificial eye because of what happened at the end of season 1. I'm hoping that is the case. I don't know. But there's a line that he says where it's like, I think it's his right eye. His right eye is artificial, and it can only see it's the only thing that can see the present, but his left eye only sees the past. I think that's what it was. And I was like, that's a very beautiful, like, story point where it's like he's wrapped up in, he's just wrapped up in the past, and he can't let it go.
And nostalgia.
But of course, they have to portray it as him talking to Katarina. It's like, I knew someone, and it cuts to him in the past with Julia, because subtlety, am I right?
Yeah, so I also agree with that, where they definitely were not subtle about jack shit. I would have appreciated that, because, like, that's how Bebop is. It does flashbacks, but it does, like, little bits and pieces, and for you to pick up the story.
They don't blatantly say what they're, like, what it's all about. They trust their audience for being intelligent.
However, because of how they started off the very first fucking 10 minutes, I knew that wasn't going to be the case. I was like, all right, they're dumbing it down, and they're going to slap us in the face with all of this. But overall, just like how I feel about Berserk 2016, like, I hated Berserk 2016 as a CGI, but damn is Berserk a good fucking story. No matter what medium I view it, Berserk is a good fucking story, right? And that's how I feel about the Bebop adaptation. No matter how you feel about, like, the set dressing or the effects and this and that, Bebop, it still has the Bebop story essence.
Sure, but then what is the point?
Man, to enjoy the show.
To enjoy it for what it is.
But if it's like like you're saying, like, oh, it's all just set dressing because underneath it's still Bebop. So, like, what's the point? What is this for?
To make money.
It's obviously, it's to make money. But
like, what was the original anime for? To make money.
I didn't.
Like, I don't understand why you have such a problem with the fact that it exists.
No,
right?
I don't have a problem with it existing. But again, it's like, okay, but you're saying that it's like, but I can't hate it because underneath it all it's still Bebop. But then I'm like, but then why? But then I'm like, okay. I'm kind of baffled. Then what was the point?
It's a different take on Bebop.
I guess.
What's the point in remaking Romeo and Juliet? Why does West Side Story even exist? Who cares? We've seen Romeo and Juliet. That was the epitome of Romeo and Juliet. Shakespeare's 1600s Romeo and Juliet. Why would they remake Macbeth? It was the epitome, the first story. Like, that's what you sound like.
Why would they make that?
You're like,
why are they making The Lion King? It's literally just a retelling of Hamlet.
Yeah, like.
That's not what I meant.
You know
that's not what I meant. I'm trying to say it's like there's a difference
that's
between...
what it sounds like,
No, it's not.
Like,
it's not.
Why would they make it then?
There's a difference between remaking and adapting something from a different medium, and you know that.
They made a live-action Bebop, and it still shares the same core story experience. Like, your issues with it don't really seem like you have an issue with the Bebop stories. You have an issue with the fact that, well, it's live adaptation.
No.
Why is it not doing its own thing?
Yeah, because I wanted to do its own thing. Like, I wanted to go all out and do its own thing.
And I'm like, but there's not a problem with that. If the original story is still good and they take inspiration from it and they just change it slightly and it makes it an overall enjoyable experience, I don't see the problem.
Maybe I'm just not doing a good job of communicating what I'm trying to say, but it doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, if you don't enjoy the adaptation because you're like, you expected a lot more of it, because it's like you had all this money. Well, I don't know how much money they spent into making it, but like, I understand your concerns, and you're like, I do agree to some extent. Like, I kind of wish they did their own thing, and instead of like stealing elements and stuff, because again, normally I hate that. I hate it when they just do like, hey, we did the thing, guys. Remember why you wanted to watch this? We did the thing. I hate that, right? I hate that it's not subtle. I hate that the original Bebop has a lot more depth to it than the live action. But overall, as an experience, like just as a standalone, in my opinion, as a standalone, I thought it was fine. I didn't hate it. And
I have to largely agree with what you, just about everything you've said over the last 10 minutes.
Yeah. And, you know, I just didn't think it was bad, man. And it's okay to think it's bad because, again, if you look at this from like an adaptation perspective or like what you expected from it, everyone has different expectations of it. And honestly, the people reacting bad to this show because
they're just
like,
assholes.
They changed so much.
Yeah.
Like, I get it.
No, I think that...
Yeah, I get why you would hate it. Because, again, I don't know why they changed Julia to be a bad guy other than the fact that, well, they needed a plot line for Season 2 because that's exactly what they're setting up for.
Yeah, it's exactly
all I hope
what they're
is that
setting it up for.
If they keep this essence of Spike can't let go of the past, I want them to commit to that, right? I need them to commit to this.
That gets thrown out the window in episode 3 when he fucking confronts Vicious. I don't even get that either. I don't know, man. I'm confused.
I don't know how that gets thrown out the window because he never let go of Julia. Like, throughout the entire series, he's like, he's supposed to be partners with Jet Black, right? And Jet actually says, like, is there something you need to tell me? And then Spike, like, looks at him and he's like, it looks like he's about to say something about, like, where were you? It doesn't take 6 hours to go get
I hate that forced conflict.
And
it felt so childish for both of them.
Yeah, and it's like, because again, and they also changed how Anna, was that her name, right? The information clerk. She's like this really cool, suave black lady that owns like a bar.
Oh, the jazz club owner. Yes.
Yeah. Instead of just being an information broker that's kind of like mom, like a grocery store mom who owns a grocery store, because that's what she is in the original. They made her into her own character, which I didn't hate, right? And they did keep this whole like Vicious goes and like tries to murder Anna, and then like Spike finds out and it kind of hurts him, and he's like, I'm gonna fucking kill Vicious. They kept all of that, right? What I didn't fucking like, Gren was in this, and they made Gren just kind of
I hate what they did to Gren.
Not a character.
It's just eye candy.
Like, I don't know if they meant to do Gren like this. Like,
they did Gren dirty.
Doesn't really pay. Yeah, like Gren is an actual character in the show. Like, he's not just a guy who cross-dresses, dude. Like, I get that that's one thing that he did, right? Where it's like, oh, he does beauty things. He's like, oh, he might be transgender, guys. Ooh. You know, with the whole Faye thing. I get that. I understand that. What I hated was the fact that they didn't even use Gren as, like, a character. They just kind of put,
he's
like, hey, here's a dude. He likes to wear makeup. But yeah, it was stupid. Do something.
The way they did Gren and, like, how I don't know what this she I don't know.
They.
Gren. How Gren keeps showing up, time and time again. It's almost like they're setting up Gren to be a bigger character if they do a second season.
I really hope they do, because Gren does play an important part into like because they kind of already crossed that bridge. I don't know. See, they've made so many changes that I don't know what to expect for season 2. I just again hope that they true to the fact that Spike can't let go, right? That's like the biggest plot point.
Another piece of fan service
show.
in the show that I genuinely loved, and I'm glad that they paid homage to it, is they actually had Punch and Judy.
Yeah. Yeah, that was my girlfriend was like, "Do they have that show on the show?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "The Cowboy Show," and I was like, "Oh God, the fucking
Big Shot, the Bounty Hunter public access program or whatever."
I do love that they had that. It was actually really great. Like, yeah. Anyway, that's my take on the live action Bebop. Yeah. I'm sorry that you didn't enjoy it as much as we did, Natai.
Yeah.
I really am.
I would agree with just about everything you've said over the last several minutes. I would give it slightly different numerical values if I had to rate it out of 10. Like, as an adaptation of the original Cowboy Bebop, I'd give it maybe a 5.5 or 6 out of 10. And then as a standalone thing, I'd probably give it the same as you did, a 7 out of 10.
Yeah. Well, I get what you mean as an adaptation. I just had a problem with the fact that they changed a bunch of the story. Like, Julia is an actual character now, and Anna, they changed that. They changed too much of the story to be a faithful adaptation, is all I'm saying. Not to say that they didn't capture the essence of Bebop and translate that. They did that pretty well. I'm just saying, as a one-for-one remake, it's bad.
I will say this, that if they go to a second season and they get to expand it even further, especially if they get more than 10 episodes to do it, I do hope that they do kind of embrace this, like, this branch or different storyline that they've created, and maybe take some of these minor characters, or, you know, admittedly minor characters from the anime, and maybe flesh them out some more, like Grin, like Anna, like
Phase Mom.
Yeah, Phase Mom. Like Chalmers, the detective dude that's married to Jet's ex-wife.
Or Ed and Ed's storyline, like, you know, how Ed finds her dad and, like, Ed's exploration with them. There's a lot that they could do. And, like, Perot doesn't technically die. He gets floated off screen while having a fucking mental breakdown. Yeah. Because of all the psychological shit that's happening to him. And it's, oh God, that was heartbreaking, man. I hated it. I thought I was going to hate Perot because I'm like, oh yeah, whatever, just like a guy. But they gave him... This is what I'm saying. I keep wanting to hate the stupid fucking show, and I don't hate it. Because there's just so much of it that I'm like... That was actually not bad, and I kind of enjoyed it. And I hate that I enjoy it. I hate that I gave it a 7 out of 10. It should have been a fucking like 0 out of 10 adaptation. This should have been shit. But I actually liked it, and I hate that I'm saying that. And I don't know, man. I don't know. That's all I got.
Natai?
I got nothing else to add.
Do you feel right now the same way you felt after every single one of our Attack on Titan
I just feel like I was really content with my opinion of it just being kind of a boring and mediocre show, and hating that now I'm here and it feels like because I don't hate it. I just think it's kind of like mediocre. That's it. I enjoyed the film content I had before this recording. That's all I'm gonna say. I was like, I'm fine with this. I'm gonna forget about this show in a week. And now I'm here. So goddamn it. And I hate this. I'm done. All play, no work. That's all I got to say about this show. That's the feeling I got. I'm done.
I needed to tie on this because he says he doesn't hate it, but his words contradict what he says.
No, it's not just the words; it's the way he's saying.
I shouldn't have said nothing.
No, man, I'm telling you, I'm gonna edit this. I'm gonna let you listen to it, and you're gonna listen to it, and you're gonna think about it, and then in about a year or two, I'm gonna make you listen to it again, and you'll be like, "Wow, I really did hate the show." I'm like, "I know, right?"
No, what you should really do is edit together all of his sighs that he's let out through this recording.
I know.
My suffering is your enjoyment. That's why I'm here.
Exactly.
Yeah, why are we here? Just to suffer.
All right. Well, I'm gonna wrap it up there. Thank you all there for dropping in to listen to us. Check the description below to find links to Anime Club, After Dark on Twitch, on social media, and on Discord. Check out our merch store and our affiliate links as well. Any purchases you make there do really, really help us out. With that, I have been your host, Alex, and I will see you next time. Say goodnight, Space Cowboys.
Fuck you.
I was gonna you're gonna carry that weight, but I mean, say goodnight. See you, Space Cowboy.